Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast episode 136 for Tuesday the 20th of September 2022. I'm your host Mark Webb, Gamer Tag Pierce under the Steam ID Webby 360G, and joining me in this very fine evening is
Nick Fights
and Sensei Sweet.
How we doing?
I couldn't think of a funny thing to say. So
yeah, that's why I paused for a sec. I was like, hold on.
Is he going to say anything funny? No, it's Nick we're talking about. Come on.
Hey, I am funny. And people just point at me at the street and just start laughing.
Pretty much, yeah. Awesome. So, yeah, man. So I got to say happy birthday to my wife because the 20th is her birthday. So happy birthday for podcast release day, which is awesome. I haven't done a lot of gaming this week because I've been very busy, but freedom has come the last day or two, which is good. So I have been doing a little bit of gaming the last couple of days, which is really, really nice. So yeah, I might as well kick us off with the game that we talk about every single week anyway, which is Final Fantasy XIV. I'm currently in the middle of a dungeon whilst we talk right now, which is why I haven't got my show notes up to look at the other ones I've got written down for this week anyway. So, but this is the good thing about not live streaming. I can actually play video games whilst we talk, which I do miss doing massively. But yeah, I'm still loving Final Fantasy XIV, the new content. I've maxed out my island, which is a little bit like an Animal Crossing, and I believe Darren has as well, which is awesome.
Indeedly doodly.
But I'm now at the point where I'm like, what's the point of doing it now? I've maxed it out.
Like I said, you've got 4 exclusive mounts, 2 hairstyles, and some other outfits, and a couple of minions, I think, that you can earn with the blue currency that you can earn there.
Yeah. Oh, that's something.
Plus, I think
anyway.
They're going to expand on it a bit later on
as
it goes on, because you've got a storyline that ties in with another member of your group, we'll say.
That's right, yeah. So I've been enjoying doing that. And I'm still doing me because I'm currently grinding for the currency to get the best gear again at the minute, and then obviously I'm doing the weekly raids for the raid gear, which I've got most of now, which is excellent. So just finding stuff to do every day, which is really, really nice on here. That's about it, really. I'm pretty sure there'll come a point where I'll probably fall off it again for a while, but it's still super popular. I mean, every time I go on, I'm still at least 20th in the queue to get on the server. I've even
had queues in first thing in the morning.
Oh, it's mad, isn't it?
From work.
Yeah.
I think it's because of the island stuff as well. You've literally got, I think it's every 12 hours you almost have to. Is it 12 or 18 hours you have to check in and feed your animals to make sure they don't get angry and starve?
Oh, yeah, well, that sort of stuff, yeah.
Are all kept. It took me a while to figure out, because I was looking at a load of the recipes that you can get your craftsman to make.
Right.
To obviously ship off to earn you cash. And there was like ones involving like strawberries and onions. And I'm like, where do you get those from? Because while you're going around the island looking everywhere, because when you get to rank 10, you get to fly, don't you?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And check all the other areas. So I'm like, they must be the seeds you can find by flying.
Yeah.
No, they're seeds you buy off of the guy next to your farm. He sells 5 extra seeds that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
And of course, like a lot of things, it costs you the good currency to buy them. So you've got to spend your currency to make money as well. So it teaches you stuff here and there, I suppose. You've got to spend it to make it.
Yeah. You can also pay them to do all the boring stuff for you, like to water your seeds and all that bullshit.
They're not getting that off me. They've had enough.
That's fair enough, mate. Yeah, so I mean, it's given us an excuse to log on every day anyway, but obviously just doing the daily dungeon runs as well, just taking it easy, which is really nice. So, yeah, It's all good. I went on last night into the Gold Saucer for the lottery. At the time, it's like 7 p.m. or 8 p.m.
Yeah,
It's about 8.
7 or 8. I think it's
Yeah.
usually 7, but it's 8 at the moment
Yeah.
because of the
Time
BST.
difference. Yeah.
There's a golden saucer in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been
Does
in
it
it
have
for
the
years.
proper music?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm happy now. I might have to install this again.
Yeah. So and I was quite surprised because obviously the lotto's been going for years and years, and it was bloody busy in the Golden Saucer at that time again. So it was a little bit of a shocker to me, just how busy.
I went there to check my tickets and then realised I hadn't bought any.
Oh no!
It was great. I must have texted the week before and got distracted and not gone to the counter.
I've done that before. Yeah, it's a little bit.
I know
annoying.
somewhere you can buy some dodgy tickets for the Golden Saucer. If you go walk in and out of the front like 50 times, you'll see a guy selling them out the back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so that's all I want to say on Final Fantasy, really, and just still really enjoying it. So all is good in the hood.
Nice.
Nick.
Yeah, so the main game I've been playing all week is still playing it because it goes on forever. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh yes, super long ass game.
Oh, I'm loving it. I've actually finished Arthur's story now.
Oh yeah.
Which I finished last night because I thought, it says there's only 6 chapters in the game, and I was like halfway through chapter 6, and I was like, I've got like 4 missions left to do. I'll stream that and finish that in a couple of hours. And yeah, I didn't realise there's a prologue with John Marston that lasts about 6 hours as well.
Oh,
so I was streaming yesterday till about 9-10 o'clock at night. I was like, just end, please, just end.
Oh, that's not very late.
Well, I had to be up at 4 for work because.
That is late. Yeah.
It was a big breakdown at work, and then because we're not working tomorrow because of Queenie, so I got in at work this morning, and it was all broken from yesterday, and I started work about 10:30.
Yeah.
And then I broke it again at 11, so then I went home.
Nice.
It's not bad, but then I got 6 hours of triple pay, so.
Oh, can't be bad, mate.
Can't be bad. I mean, I had to charge my phone because I was watching a lot of Netflix, but that's their problem, not my problem.
Yeah.
yeah, that's really good. And I mean, I don't want to spoil it too much because it's still, it's a good game. I don't know if you both of you have played it, though, haven't you?
Yeah. I rinsed it when it came out.
Yeah, so
I played it.
Yeah, so obviously with Arthur's story, I don't know what the other option is, but I chose at the end to go with John and not go after the money. So I got that end, and I don't know if there's a different ending for picking the other choice, but I'll have to check on YouTube. And yeah, that was a bit. I was a little bit emotional at that because of what happened and the music and stuff like that. Because these games, they really get to you, don't they? You spend like 60 hours with a character and you start liking them, especially, because the graphics are so good and the voice acting. This has probably got the best voice acting in any game, I think.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah.
I mean, I suppose some people might say maybe Last of Us is up there, but I think there's less people in Last of Us, isn't there? Like the NPCs and the people who just walk past just start talking to you, and then you see a dog, and I was like, I've got to pet the dog. And I found a cat the other day or yesterday, and someone said, shoot the cat. So I did, and I was like, oh no. And then I got done because someone saw me and reported me for animal cruelty, and then I had loads of police chasing me trying to kill me. Which I suppose that's fair. I mean, I didn't know animal cruelty existed in the 1800s, but no, I didn't. But I was like, I probably deserved that. And then I lost my bear because I got attacked by a big grizzly bear, and then I killed him, skinned him, put him on the back of my horse, but then I got knocked off my horse while I was escaping, and the bear skin fell off. So I was like, damn it, I wanted to sell that. This was while I was just concentrating on the story, and then I wasn't, and I just get distracted by something, and then I've got to go do. That's probably why I've taken so long to finish it. But I mean, one of the bits that really got me is very similar to something that happened in Red Dead 1. Basically, when you get back from the island section in Guarma, and then you nick a horse, and then you have to ride back to your camp, and the music comes on, and I was like, "Oh, this music is so good!" And obviously, I've downloaded the soundtrack to listen to that over and over again. But obviously, that's similar to in the first Red Dead when you go to Mexico.
Yeah.
That sort of bit. So it's up there with that. And the only thing cool is I've found like a fast travel in this, but it's not. Basically, if you're on, like a path, you're holding A to thing. If you hold, I don't know what button it is on Xbox, the two squares, I don't know if that's start or select or what guide or whatever it is, then basically it goes into like a cinematic mode, where the camera sort of pans round and looks at you, and it just makes it look a little bit more, which isn't, it's quite good for streaming because then I can read chat. And I was like listening to that, I thought, oh, this is epic music. And then I got to the end, still in cinematic mode, and I thought, oh, that was awesome. Arthur's such a badass. So then I pressed Y to get off my horse, and as I got off the horse, because it was like half up the stairs, I just fell off on the floor, and he just sort of landed on the floor. He was like, "Ah, shit!" I was like, "Yep, that was the perfect dismount."
That's funny.
But yeah, so I'm playing as John Marston now, which is getting. I mean, even this is longer than some actual games so far.
Yeah,
because I think it's because I've just bought the ranch where you're in the next game.
Yeah.
Where you play as? I mean, it was a typical thing.
In the prequel or whatever.
In the prequel,
like,
but the prequel. Red Dead Redemption 2 is the prequel. The first one is the next one in the timeline. But yeah, it was a little bit confusing with all that. But
it's a sequel to the prequel.
Yeah, something like that, and then we'll have a remake and a reimagining and all that thing, But I mean, I've installed the next one now because I want to just go on and play that again. Because I want to see if there's any characters from 2 that are in the original, in the next one, the next story. Because I was like, oh, I wonder if I can remember any of them and stuff like that. But I mean, this is really good. I mean, there's a few bits typical in it, like John Marston's wife. She's like moaning because, oh, you're such a bad boy. Why are you being? I was like, well, you married him and you knew he was a bad boy running around in the gang, and now she's constantly moaning at him because he has to keep shooting people because they keep attacking him. I was like, well, what do you want him to do? Just die? But, typical woman, I suppose. They love the bad boys. They cry when they keep being bad. I mean, you get that, don't you, Webby?
All the time, mate. Every day.
Yeah, that's what we thought. We always hear about you. But yeah, so on prologue part 2 now. So I think I've got another maybe 3 hours left. So fingers crossed I'll be able to finish it. Probably tomorrow because I'm not at work tomorrow, so I'll finish that. But this is a brilliant game. I probably should have played it before the last 4 years, but I've been busy.
It came out 4 years ago. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, 2018.
Oh my god.
October 2018.
It came out around the time of like the 1X and the Pro.
It was a year after that.
Wow.
I think.
Time flies, man. It doesn't feel like that long ago.
Yeah, I think because the Pro came out in 2016 and the Series X 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I think 2017. Because the case has HDR and Xbox One X enhanced on it, so it's it's definitely out before that. But yeah, such a good game. I don't think there's anyone who hasn't played it yet, but should definitely give it another go. But I think they said they've cancelled the Series X patch that they were working on. But it plays fine as is, to be honest.
It's not like they've been in the news much today.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that later. Yeah.
What, Rockstar? I don't know what happened.
We'll tell you later in the news section, mate. Yeah.
Well, I only get my news from you. I don't pay attention to
anything. You don't go on Twitter with all the screeching lunatics.
No, they're all arguing over like the Queen. Last time I looked, I thought I'll leave that till she's in the ground. It'll probably be worse, but
yeah.
Yep. So definitely recommend that game.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome, man.
Yep. The only thing that irritates me is my hat keeps getting shot off.
Oh no, I
and I have
remember
to
you
be
talking
walking
about
off.
that last week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really annoying me because I think it happened like 3 times in a row. There was a fight towards the end where you're robbing the train, which is like the last big mission,
Yeah.
and my hat kept getting shot off. So I was like, I'm not having this. So I'm walking off, like pick my hat up. You wait for the animation to put your hat on,
Yeah.
which is like slow, and then I leg it back to cover, get down into cover, start shooting, and they shot my hat off again. I think they've done it like 3 times in a row without me actually shooting anyone. And all chat was just laughing at him, just like, just leave the hat. I was like, I can't leave the hat.
Like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, exactly. I can't. And then in the last mission before, I thought of like, no, my hat's gone. And then it played like some really like good music. I mean, the music in this game is awesome. I mean, if you like any of like the old Wild West and stuff like that, it's awesome. But there's one mission where I was like off to save John or whatever I was supposed to do, and I was like, I've lost my hat because my hat got shot off like 5 seconds before a cutscene happened, so I couldn't go back and get it. But then he took his hat out of his bag and put it on, so I was like, yeah. I need to basically. I'm looking on Amazon. I want a cowboy hat for myself.
Oh.
Fair dues, mate.
Just get a cowboy hat and big speakers and start blasting out Cotton Eye Joe on your way to work.
Exactly. So you got it. You got it, mate. Right.
Nice.
So your turn next. Yeah, Switch.
Yeah. So I've been playing a little bit more Soul Hackers 2 this week. The Atlas JRPG with the never-ending dungeons.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I've seen a few people playing this actually.
It's
Discord.
a really good game, bar those dungeons that just go on and on and on. And then there was like one I went into the other day, where there's like these doors, and when you walk through them, they shut behind you, and other doors open. So you've got to try and work out how to get round the actual area to get to where you want, with the door being open, because certain doors only go one way as well that lead into other areas.
Okay.
And when you've been in a dungeon for about an hour and a half, you just kind of like, get the fuck out of the way. I just want to get through this. Like, can we get to somewhere else? Because you spend a reasonable amount of time in the dungeon to the point where your characters will go up a couple of levels, but then the XP gain starts to drop because obviously you're higher level than the enemies you're fighting. Still, but I'm still enjoying the storyline and everything to a degree. I did have one of those. The common thing these days is the fights you cannot win.
Oh yes.
I don't see the point in those. It's just a waste of time. Show me that in a cutscene and then move on, rather than actually have me like.
That's kind of
in a turn-based game as well. Like, it takes even longer.
It is a bit of a traditional JRPG trope, though, isn't it?
It is, but it's that's one of the things that can do one, to be honest.
That's fair enough, mate.
But yeah, it's cool fusing the summons and stuff together, your little demons, to create new ones and transferring abilities over, leveling them up, unlocking new items as well to fuse to your weapons, which gives you more equipment that you can take into battle, more accessories that you can actually equip to your character, and building your bonds with your teammates by going into their soul matrices and stuff and having sort of like hangout conversations with them after certain events in the game.
Very Japanese.
I mean, it's full of the typical kind of stuff. You've got the guy with the troubled past, the sort of like happy-go-lucky guy who's sort of like a bit too sort of easy going for his own good, and then the sort of like miserable bitch kind of a character who you're probably going to realise later on as you go through it that's just obviously had a hard life, and that's what's going to find out like they have, and your character's going to try and make them see the light or whatever it is. But we never know. Have we ever actually had a game where you end up teamed up with someone in a game like this and then they betray you right at the end?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm guessing that's going to happen in this. Lols.
No, I'm just saying no. I don't think it is, because it would be a bit crap sort of a thing to have that happen. But yeah, just thinking that would be kind of weird for it to crop up, because you slowly build bonds yourself with the characters as you're going through. You know what I mean? As you learn their struggles and everything.
Yeah.
I'll say, but yeah, it's a fun JRPG. It just has a few little flaws here and there. Like I said, it's not open world. You kind of like just navigate menu screens to go to a new area, and they're literally just a couple of screens.
Right.
And then you go into like a shop or whatever. You just pop in, and you just get like menus and chat and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But the actual presentation for the game itself is very good. The music's pretty cool as well, I will say.
Oh, nice. That's good.
And the combat's fun, bar the animation at the end of every turn.
It just gets a bit bored, does it? It gets a bit boring.
Well, not necessarily
just
that.
a bit samey.
Whenever you land like a hit on an enemy that they're weak to, it basically places a demon in a stasis behind the enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of your group's turn, your character does an animation and pulls out all the demons that have been put behind to do like an uber move.
Yeah,
does more damage. But that plays at the end of every turn.
Ooh. It's the same animation every time as well.
You can push your button to skip it, yeah. Well, it is, but depending on which demons it was, because you equip set demons to your characters. Depending on what elements and magics and abilities you want the characters to have. Mm-hmm. Certain characters at the start are more, we'll say, have more of a connection with certain elements.
Oh, okay.
Like your main character, Ringo, is like basically electric, and Arrow's kind of ice at the moment for me, and I've got my lady on fire and poison, I think, and then Saizo's the wind user. But you can power them up and change them around as the game progresses onwards. So you get more variety.
That sounds quite good. It's quite popular. It's quite popular, isn't it?
Game. Yeah, it's a good game. Like I say, it's just some of those dungeons just kind of go on a bit, where you sort of like, I'll stick it on for a couple of hours, and then you find 2 hours later I'm still in this dungeon.
Are you playing it on PlayStation? Yeah.
Yeah, PS5. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
I think it's available on the main 3 anyway: PC, PlayStation, and Xbox.
Is it? Oh, okay. Nice. I'm surprised you didn't pick it up on Xbox. For the Chivos.
Xbox, mate.
It's not the JRPG machine for Switch, is it?
No, and like I said, the shit box as well. Game box, game case.
The boxes.
Well, buy it digital, then you haven't got to worry about the box.
Oh, don't get Darren started on digital.
I ain't forking over money for anything digital.
Oh, you make me laugh, Darren. You make me laugh.
You're paying for nothing. It's worthless. I said it before.
You're paying for your entertainment, mate.
And you're paying more. You pay more for digital than you do for physical.
You do on console,
and it's actually worth something.
Yeah, unless there's a sale. Yeah. Cool, man. All right.
Anyway, back to you.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So I've been playing the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 beta today. PlayStation. So it's available to everyone on PlayStation now for 2 days. So for the last 2 days, it was for people that had pre-ordered it. Obviously, I haven't pre-ordered the game at all on any system, so I've been waiting for it to become public. So it can become public today, which is Sunday, which is the day we're recording at 6 p.m. and we're now recording at 8 p.m. So I've only had about an hour on it. I am enjoying it though, to be honest. Obviously, I've still been playing a lot of Vanguard. Obviously, this is newer. It's Modern Warfare, so it's all the modern stuff. But it's got like a few different game modes, which I haven't played them all yet. But you've got, your normal team deathmatch, your normal deathmatch. Could control the 3 points on the zone, domination. It's called. But then there's a new mode on this, which I think is really good. It's called Prisoner Rescue. So you've got 2 teams. One of them's on defend, and one of them's on rescuing the 2 prisoners. So that mode feels very much like Rainbow Six, which is really cool. Yeah, it's like Rainbow Six Siege because it's 6 on 6. So obviously you've got the 6 people trying to stop the other 6 from taking the hostages. So I've had a couple of games on that mode, and it's really good actually. And you all only get 1 life, so once you're dead, that's it. So that's just something to be aware of. But the thing is with the beta, obviously, there's only a few different maps. Not all the weapons are on there. There's only about 6 different weapons available to use as well, so not everything is in there. But I will say, though, a couple of negatives before I get into the positives. The negatives are the game engine is exactly the same as Vanguard's. I see no... I don't see any improvements in the graphics at all. I don't know if that's just because I'm playing it on PlayStation, because I will be playing it on PC this weekend coming, because it's the open beta on all platforms on this weekend coming. So we'll see how it looks on PC. But obviously, this Call of Duty is on the last gen consoles as well. So I think that the fact that it's on the last gen consoles is probably holding it back a little bit anyway, because it's probably just like a last gen version with an upres for the current consoles, yeah. But it's good, man. I mean, it looks good. I mean, it looks good. I'm not saying it looks crap by any means of the imagination, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, because I've been playing a fuckload of Vanguard this past week as well. A hell of a lot, and like I literally noticed no difference at all, because I play Vanguard on my Series S, Series X, and my PC, and obviously it looks best on PC. But if I'm comparing this to the Xbox version of Vanguard, like there's literally no fucking difference. But it doesn't detract from the gameplay, which I really like. It's fast, it's twitchy. The maps that I've played so far have been very well designed. All the customization is on there of a normal COD. Yeah, like once you rank up your guns, you got your scopes and change your barrels and your magazines and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I'm keen to play it on Xbox and PC next weekend, purely for the fact, and it's just a personal preference.
Controller.
The controller, I just don't find the PlayStation controller comfortable to play a first-person shooter to like this on. I know there's plenty of people out there that have no issue with that, and that's fine. It's just, for me, I mean, the haptic feedback on it is really good. I will give it that. It's absolutely phenomenal. But it's just what's always got me with PlayStation controllers, with first-person shooters, is just the stick layout, and it just doesn't suit my thumbs. I think that might be because I've spent so many years playing these sort of games on an Xbox controller. So I find after about an hour or so, my thumbs like really ache. So that's just personal preference. But so it plays well. I haven't come across any classic maps. I don't because I haven't actually looked into Modern Warfare 2 much at all. So I don't know what the roadmap is for maps, but they usually include some classic maps in these games. But all the maps that I've played on the beta have been brand new ones, and they're really, as I say, they're really well laid out. They look nice, and I'm really enjoying it. I might stream it tonight after the podcast, or maybe tomorrow as well. So if people want to watch that would be pretty awesome as well. But yeah, I can't wait to pick this up. I'm going to get this on launch for sure. And the good thing is, because it's linked to your Activision account, and I think this might go with the beta as well, all your progress carries on to every platform because it just pulls your Activision information. So I'm hoping when I play this on PC next weekend, well, this weekend coming, it pulls all my beta progress across to my PC. That would be great because it does that on Vanguard and Modern Warfare. Anyway, so yeah, man, really enjoy. It's just a shame that they do it. Oh, you need to pre-order it to get 2 days of extra beta, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. And I know that plenty of people do pre-order the game just for that, but it just seems like a bit of a shitty move, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Just pre-order it.
The industry's full of shitty moves, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, they've even started taking that into the full thing. Like Microsoft are one of the main proprietors to the buy the deluxe edition and play it 2 or 3 days before the peons and their standard editions.
Well, it makes me laugh. Yeah, because it makes me laugh because obviously there's the whole thing about Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard, but the UK competition board is looking into it a bit more, and Sony have been spouting a load of shit saying, oh, it's not good for the industry, especially because of Call of Duty, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, the only reason Sony don't want Microsoft to buy Activision Blizzard is because they'll lose their Call of Duty fucking exclusive bollocks, which is, you know, they get game modes just on the PlayStation, they get the betas early on the PlayStation, and they'll lose that. And also Call of Duty is
anyway, I think.
Well, I hope so.
I think they generally lose that anyway, and I thought it was more along the lines of they're worried that people will just they're more likely going to buy an Xbox to play, because obviously everything Microsoft buys ends up on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So it's like, give us £10 a month for infinite rentals of whatever studio games we have, and I think they're worried that more people are gonna buy an Xbox to just spend £10 for like a Game Pass for a month and have access to Call of Duty than buy a PS5 and spend like 60-70 quid for it.
Yeah. Well, you know, from a personal point of view, as someone who owns all systems and is a Game Pass subscriber, I really want this deal to go through so I don't have to buy Call of Duty anymore. You know, if it's part of my Game Pass subscription, you know, it's all positive, but there isn't going to be a Call of Duty game next year anyway. They're going to a 2-year cycle on it now, I believe.
Right, yeah, that would make sense.
So,
I mean, they've got Warzone that can tide everything over. You can filter content into that to keep it going.
Yeah, but there's a Warzone 2.0 coming out, isn't there, when Modern Warfare 2 launches as well? And I think that's going to launch. I think the original Warzone's going to be going as well. So there's going to be 2 fucking Warzones on the go. It just makes...
I heard someone moaning because apparently their skins won't carry over into the new Warzone or something.
Oh my goodness. A lot
of the older stuff.
Oh, people will be upset because, like, people spend a lot of money on that, you know.
Digital shit.
Because people, like, they added like a Terminator operators to Vanguard last month. No, £15 an operator. You had the Terminator, and then you had the policeman. 15 quid each. Yeah.
T1000.
Yeah.
Only idiots pay for those. I definitely haven't bought any.
So
I mean, you must be able to get them with points from playing the game and stuff.
No, you got to buy it. No, you got to buy them.
Oh, you do have to buy them. Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, so
I'm sure they'll find a way round that, to be honest, because when you get bigger games start screwing people over on their digital purchases, you're going to get a lot of people that are like, oh, you know what, these aren't worth it.
Yeah.
Because we know now that after a certain time, we'll lose access to what we've paid for.
Yeah.
It's just a choice. They don't want to... It's not that they can't let you use the skins in the next one. They just don't want to. They'd rather you buy new ones.
Yeah. Well, I think it becomes a bit
of operators and stuff as well, aren't they? It's not just the skins.
Well, the operators don't do anything though. They just look different. But at the minute, right, with Warzone as it is at the moment, like if you have Vanguard and Black Ops, I think it was Black Ops, yeah, like all the operators you get in Vanguard and Black Ops, you can play as on Warzone. So there's a fuck ton, an absolute fuck ton that you can use. And I think they've probably just got to a point where it's just too much, maybe. So
Ask Fortnite. That game keeps adding skins, and people's lockers must be a complete mess.
yeah.
And the fact that there's no way of deleting skins you don't want anymore, which is stupid because all of that is taking up spaces on their servers, like
Yeah.
everyone's like inventory and stuff.
Yeah.
I'd love them to add like an option, a mode into Fortnite where you could mark skins for deletion after like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, because
They
that
won't
way
do that
you
because
get.
they know kids would do that to their brothers and
Well,
stuff
yes,
like that to piss them off. You know.
this is why I'm saying like after 2 weeks,
Just have
like
a
2 or
hide
3 weeks.
button, and
That
if you
way,
want to
yeah.
get it, log on to a website to put it back. Done.
Or just like vault them. You can move them into a vault so they don't appear, and like you go into the vault to look at all the stuff you've chucked in there.
Good idea. And you could pay a
Otherwise, it
monthly
saves you going through all
subscription
this
to rent a
nonsense.
vault space on the vault. It's a great idea, Switch.
Well, it's no different to Final Fantasy 14 to paying for a retainer, which is someone that holds your loot.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, it just holds all of your, I suppose,
Your
loot,
gear,
yeah, money and stuff, and sells you extra stuff, more items to sell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it'd be good because I've got a ton of Fortnite skins that I just fucking hate and I want them gone. So I looked at there's a new battle pass for a new season today.
Oh, okay.
I don't want a single thing off it, a single item off that battle pass. It's the worst I've ever seen.
Do you buy the battle passes on that?
Because you earn them from, like, I earn V-Bucks for free, don't I, on playing the what's it?
Oh, okay.
Playing the Save the World. So
Yeah.
I just spend them on the battle pass every now and again.
Oh, that
But
makes
yeah,
sense.
this one's horrendous. Like, I don't want a single character on there. And even if you don't own the battle pass now, because you earn levels from playing Save the World,
Right.
even without playing the battle royale,
Yeah.
I'm getting random backpacks and shitty pickaxes and stickers and things like that. Like, just cluttering up my inventory, and I'm like, great.
Wow.
And I can't get rid of them.
Oh my goodness.
And you know what I'm like with my neatness and wanting things to be nice and
yeah.
Yeah.
So just going back to COD for a moment as well, because I'm actually currently playing it whilst we talk, just to get a bit more of a feel while I'm talking to you guys. It's really weird.
Is it stable today?
Oh, smooth as. I mean, I thought that PlayStation would have some issues with it downloading, and like the minute it went live, I just started to download it, and it downloaded really quick, which is awesome. But the thing is, right? I just want to. Can I just moan about the PlayStation controller again? Like, there's something that I've noticed since playing this as well, and I've only been playing it for about 20 minutes or so. And I'm not a sweaty guy. I don't really get sweaty, but my thumbs on these PlayStation 5 thumbsticks are sliding all over the top of the thumbsticks. I'm not staying in place. Do you get this problem?
No, I don't. I've never known people who have this. Are you just oily?
No, I'm not oily. It's just like on the Xbox. on the Xbox. Yes, because
what happened to tea, Webby? Have you washed your hands yet?
Oh, I haven't washed my hands for weeks. No, but seriously, like, because on the on the Xbox controller, like, it's got that rubber on it, and my thumbs never slip. But I find on the PlayStation one, like, because it's like the inside's kind of a like concave shape, isn't it?
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's got like like the Xbox ones dip in, and this one bubbles up.
Like, I just find my thumbs slip all over it. So this doesn't stay stable. I don't know. Well, you guys obviously
it's
don't.
Not just you. I mean, I used to see people like posting pictures up with like their PS4 controllers, and it was like their thumbs were made of sandpaper or something. The way they were stripping the rubber off the sticks. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, my missus strips the rubber off of my Xbox controllers as well to buy some more thumbsticks.
I was about to say something else then.
Yeah. But yeah,
Can you put those rubber things over the top of them? They sell them in.
No, I don't like those things. I might just buy some different thumbsticks for the controller. I'll just take it apart and put some different thumbsticks on. Actually, now I'm thinking about it.
Or you could wait and get the God of War controller.
No, I don't play my PlayStation enough. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, COD is. I'm really liking it, man. I'm just looking forward to playing it on a different controller. Yeah, that's me done, guys. Before I just babble on about COD some more.
I can hear you vibrating away. That's your haptic feedback.
It is, yeah. It's not my vibrator. It's not my butt plug with the remote control. It is my controller.
Yeah, you said that you lost ran out of batteries for them, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah. Cool. All right, Nick, go for it, mate.
Right, so I only played this once because well, the person I'm playing with, she's moved house, so she's getting her internet sorted. But more Back for Blood.
Oh, nice.
Right near the end of Act 2 now. I'm not sure how many acts is in there, but remember at the right at the end,
actually, isn't there?
Yeah, at the end of the last time I played. Before that, I didn't realise that you spend those points, whatever you earn in the game, to buy all the cards and stuff.
Aren't they?
Yeah,
I think that's blood points or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh right, I didn't know nothing about that. So then I bought loads of cards, like with like extra. I'm selecting cards like extra health and ammo and stuff like that, and I'm not dying all the time now, which is good. So I'm
excellent.
like, oh, that's what those, because I'd like 4,500. They were like, oh my god, why didn't you bought them? I was like, because I played the tutorial when it came out and never played the game. Because we had like on the first day there was like connection issues, wasn't there? So I couldn't, like connect to someone. I'm still a bit iffy now sometimes. Like when we try to play, it says someone's offline when we know they are, like in the game. But then if you go to your friends list on Xbox and like invite them there, it works. But then it still says they're offline. So it's just a bit weird because we've got 2 people on Xbox and 1 on PC. So it's like, and I think every time we've played, it always says we're offline.
Oh, weird.
Which is weird, but it's still a good game. I'm enjoying it. We'll play it again once she gets her internet sorted out. But yeah, it's pretty good.
Good. Yeah, I've never I like just talking about issues with systems. I had an issue last night, so. I don't know if anyone else has had this. I don't know if any of you guys have got 2 Xboxes. So I was playing Vanguard last night on my Series S upstairs, and then my missus was like, "I want to go to bed." So I was like, "Oh, that's fine." So I turned it off, and then I went downstairs and loaded up my Series X downstairs. But like, I was playing with my next door neighbour, and I loaded up my Series X, and he had just disappeared off my friends list. Like, it was so bizarre. And then, so I loaded up COD, and I could see him online on COD, you know, when you do the in-game friends, but I couldn't see him online on the console itself. And I had to restart it another couple of times for him to appear on my friends list again. It was really weird. And then he was saying to me that I was showing offline the whole time, even though I wasn't. It was really odd. Yeah, that's my little story.
Yeah, you get sometimes with that, and you normally check online, and that says, well, we know they're having issues with this, that, and the other, but
yeah,
they're usually fairly quick to fix that. Yeah. Either that, or he unfriended you because he doesn't like you anymore.
No. I was
imagine that in the morning, you go outside and you see him, you say, all right, I notice we're not friends on Xbox anymore.
That's it. Oh dear.
Switch, what we got next?
I'll talk about one of the 2 demos that I played this week. So obviously you've had TGS running, Tokyo Game Show running throughout most of this week in Japan. And with obviously a few of the announcements, there was some demos released for a few games. The first of which I think dropped on one of the first days, was Valkyrie Elysium. which is the Square Enix game based on the Valkyrie profile and all the rest of it, sort of series of games. And I wasn't really a fan, to be honest.
Oh dear.
I got it on the PSP. There was one of them I got on the PSP back in the day, because everyone ranted and raved about it and said it was fantastic and it was really good JRPG. But for me, it was more platformer than JRPG,
Mm-hmm.
and I got extremely frustrated with it and just stopped playing it. This one's obviously sort of more third-person, open-world hack and slash style.
Yeah.
So you sort of start off, you're doing a tutorial area, and you sort of go up to these crystals and you activate it, and you're told your different attacks and everything like that. And just the world didn't look particularly great. The way the tutorial was done was really boring, as in like I've done this kind of thing way before. There was a lot of stuff to be able to do. So you've got like your light attack, your heavy attack, your sort of air combos and locking on. You can hold down the different shoulder buttons to do magics that tie to your buttons. And also if you hold down other ones, you can summon in the characters, because obviously in these games you go around, basically, if you're a Valkyrie, you go around picking up fallen warriors, like the souls of the dead, and get them to fight with you.
Okay.
You obviously achieve your goals and stuff. So sort of got to those bits, and then I was using my characters to do some sort of platforming thing. But one of the things that really caught me off straight away is the character Naruto runs.
Oh really?
And it looks fucking stupid.
I'm just watching a video at the moment, but I've not seen that running yet.
Yeah. The game's kind of in a weird place as well. It's 3D.
Yeah.
But it kind of got a 2D look to it, over the top.
I've just seen the Naruto run. Yeah, it does look weird.
It looks horrible. Like, I don't get it. It just kind of took me out a little bit. I'm like, why are you running like an idiot?
Yeah, and for people that don't know what that is, yeah, just tell people
it's
just like
running forwards with your arms behind your back, like you're sort of like running against the wind, and you're trying to make yourself more aerodynamic. Like, it worked for Naruto, but at the end of the day, he was the only person who really used to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just looks completely odd, and it's almost become a meme in itself. Like, do you remember the in Area 51 invasion that people were planning on doing? Like, they can't take down all of us, so we'll send the Naruto runners in up against the fences while the other people run around the back and all of this lot. It was kind of amusing, but yeah. So anyway, I sort of got through the tutorial stuff, and it was just kind of nothing caught me.
Yeah.
And it was a game which was already on that thing of like, right, you've got that coming out and you've got Star Ocean. And both of them are kind of like, I was going to pick one of you up just to sort of fill a bit of time, for a bit of support behind the company, because generally their games are kind of good, but not always will a game grab you straight off the bat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm afraid to say that Valkyrie Elysium for me is not one that I generally plan on picking up. But like I say, there's a demo for it out on PlayStation, I believe. I'm not too sure which other platforms it's on. So if you want to try it out, give it a go. It's free, obviously. But yeah, it didn't do anything for me, unfortunately.
I think it's quite good though that they do these game shows now, because like Eurogamer's on this weekend coming, right? And I don't know anyone who's going apart from my mate Dave, who keeps on trying to convince me, and I'm like, no, because it looks shit. But yeah, so these game shows are dying off because they're just crap now. But when they do like these other game shows, like Totaka Game Show and stuff like that, it's nice that they seem to be putting more of an effort to put demos out these days, just so you get a taster of, you know, what these new games are like when they're coming out. Because remember, like, we used to go to EGX, we used to queue up for hours just to play some of these games, you know what I mean? And now you can just download it onto your system at home and sit in your pants and play them. You know what I mean?
Mm.
The only downside to
mean,
it, though, Darren, is we don't have any meetups anymore.
Yeah, true. I mean, obviously, COVID put a bit of a kibosh on all of that kind of stuff, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but even
So
before
this is the
COVID, they were going
the
down.
first TGS as well since COVID, where people have been able to get in. But like, even if you watched some of the TGS streams, like a lot of it was just arse. Like, I'm not even gonna
Oh,
sugarcoat it.
really?
Like, it was like mobile phone shit.
Ugh.
Like, oh, look at this amazing HD remaster of like a PS1 game. We haven't updated the graphics; we've just made it look HD, so it still looks horrible.
They did announce was it Suikoden?
Suikoden 1
Yeah.
and 2, yeah. That was the big Konami announcement, by the way.
Yeah, I've never played them, but
Konami's back at TGS. Everyone's like, Metal Gear, Silent Hill. And then it was literally like, roll up, step right there, clown music playing. Like, no, we're just remastering a couple of games from the PlayStation 1.
Yeah, I mean, they are renowned as being amazing. I've never played them, so I'm quite excited for that, to be honest.
I'm more excited in the one that's the Kickstarter one. Is it Illusion Chronicle 100 Heroes or something?
Oh yeah, that looks good, doesn't it?
Trailer
Yeah.
for that off, and it looks fantastic.
It does look good, doesn't it? Yeah.
It looks really good. Like, I love the art style, the way
Yeah.
they've kind of kept the pixel art but brought it up to date, and they've got that kind of, we'll say, Octopath style of 3D rendering from the pixels that they sort of ushered in.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Yeah, that is good. Sorry, mate, it's kind of hijacking your games played for TGS.
I basically mentioned it, hadn't I? It was the Valkyrie Elysium.
Yeah.
The other demo I'll talk about, I liked a lot more.
Okay. Fair dingles, mate. Is it me again, is it?
Yep.
It is indeed.
Okay, so from Tokyo Game Show, I did watch the Microsoft event. It was actually pretty decent. But what one shock which made me really happy was they announced that Ni no Kuni Remastered was coming to Xbox, and it hit Game Pass the same day as they announced it at Tokyo Game Show. So I've spent about 5 or 6 hours playing it, playing Ni no Kuni Remastered the last couple of days. And Ni no Kuni... It's so good, man. It's very tidy, yes.
Yeah, I thought he was getting that.
Mate, it is... I mean, it's one of my favourite games on the PlayStation 3. So for it to come out on Xbox to give me another excuse to play it is just great. And, you know, when I played it on the PS3, I didn't have any kids. Now I've got 2 kids, and my daughter's not really that bothered, but my little boy... He's just loving it. Like this morning, I woke up and he was like, Daddy, put that Ni no Kuni on, please. I was like, all right then. And then I just sat and played it for about 4 hours this afternoon with him sitting next to me, just absolutely soaking it all in and loving it. So, and I forgot how much of a gorgeous game it is, because all the art style's done by Studio Ghibli. And especially like the cartoon section bits for the cutscenes, they just look just amazing. But just the game itself looks amazing. Like you hit that world map for the first time, and it's just that gorgeous art, like all that paint, and the music. Oh my goodness, it's just such a quality game. And because I hadn't played it, because it's been so many years since I played it, I've forgotten most of it now. So you know, a lot of it's like playing it fresh again. You know what I mean? So, yeah, absolutely digging it, man. It is so good. The only annoyance is, I think that would annoy some people, and it does annoy me sometimes. Is obviously it's turn-based RPG in a weird way. So it's got like the enemies are on the world map or in the areas, and then you walk into them, and it goes into like a battle sequence. Sometimes it can just get a bit too much when you're trying to achieve something and get somewhere, and you're just constant battles over and over again. It does get a little bit frustrating. but it is a quality game. I mean, it's like Pokemon, really, because you collect these animals called familiars, and then you can level them up and send them into battle for you, and all of different abilities and stuff. So, but what was quite cool with that though is it hit Game Pass, and then all I've had the last couple of days is people messaging me going, Webby, this Ni no Kuni game, I seem to remember you talking about that on the podcast years ago. Is it any good? And I'm just like, I'm surprised people fucking remember that, because, you know, it's been almost 10 years since that come out, I think. So, yeah, people have got some good memories out there. No. Yeah, man, just absolutely loving it. It's just like the story is amazing, and it just all comes together so well with that art and just say with the music and stuff. It's one of those. I mean, I would say it's one of those must-play games, and now it's on Game Pass. Like,
if you're a fan of JRPGs, yes.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But I mean, even if you're not, I mean, because I remember Colin played through and completed it on the PS3, and he's not generally into these into JRPGs, and he absolutely loved it. So. You know, I'd say give it a
same,
go.
Wasn't it? It was his kids. Kids kept asking to put it on and everything.
Yeah,
because it's obviously got that pleasing aesthetic.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, and the story's really good as well. You know,
sad, but it's again.
Yeah, because so I was playing it, and obviously, a character dies near the bit at the beginning of the game. And my little girl was just standing there going, oh, that's really sad. And she's only 2. Yeah, so it's just quite funny to watch. It's like, well, not funny, just like, oh, she understands what's going on. Yeah, so...
how far did you get? Because I remember I played this on PS3 and I was enjoying it, but I sort of... rookie mistake for JRPGs. I didn't make like multiple saves. I think I went somewhere I shouldn't have done. And there was I remember this was a boss fight in a it was in a garage, and that kept poisoning me.
Okay.
It was about 4 or 5 hours into the game, and I was like, I couldn't go back, and I couldn't get past this boss. Even though I looked on YouTube and tried everything, I just kept getting my ass handed to me. So I'm like, oh, so I'm done with the game then.
Oh dear.
You know, it's PS3. I bought it on PS4 as well.
Yeah.
Because it was like, they always go on sale for like £8.
Yeah.
On PS4 and Switch as well, because it's on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But I was just like, oh, it's just a hat. I was like, I'd love to finish it, but it's a long game, isn't it?
Oh, it's about 60 to 100 hours, depending on how much content you want to do.
The second one was shorter, wasn't it? I believe.
I never finished the second one.
So it was a bit shorter to do.
The second one was fucking awful compared to the first, so I never finished it.
It had all this like town building stuff, didn't it?
Yeah. And the main character just looked shit, and it wasn't Studio Ghibli. They shouldn't have called it Ni no Kuni, really.
I suppose they just wanted to ride off the license.
Yeah.
The name.
Yeah. Yeah, I was so disappointed. So disappointed with the second one.
It can't have done particularly well, because bar obviously a horrible cash-in mobile game that they've done.
Yeah.
They haven't released anything else since number 2, have they?
No.
It was 4 or 5 years ago, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, because I was gutted, because I remember I got the collector's edition of number 2, and then I fucking hated the game, and I was like, for fuck's sake, I just wasted like 100 odd quid on this. Oh.
I'm just looked up and saw my Mr. Drippy plushie on my shelf.
Yeah, I've got that. I've still got that edition.
Actually, that actually became pretty valuable, didn't it? Quite quickly, that White Witch edition.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Because you've got that nice leather-bound book as well.
Yeah.
With the thing cut into it with the compendium of the monsters and stuff. And
yeah.
Like his book in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very good collector's edition of any game, you know. It's very well done compared to some of the lazy-ass ones that do come out. Yeah, it was really, really good. But yeah, so it is a great game, man. And the fact it's hit Game Pass. I mean, Game Pass is just the gift that keeps on giving at the minute. I mean, there's so many quality titles on there at the moment. It's pretty much insane. You know, got Death Stranding on there at the moment as well, on PC only.
On the PC,
yeah. You know, and all the Yakuza franchise and all that. You know, it's just I can't even think of half the others either. But yeah, it's just fucking amazing.
I have noticed one thing about Microsoft and Game Pass and the Japanese devs recently, because like most of this show was Game Pass, wasn't it? The TGS showcase. So obviously we all know Japanese games don't sell very well on Xbox anymore.
Yeah.
And they generally don't sell many in Japan either. I mean, obviously it's been picking up steam out there in Japan and has been doing better than I think PlayStation at a time because of supply issues and price increases, etc. But it's almost like Microsoft will only put Japanese games on their platform if they pay for them to be on Game Pass, because the publisher then knows they don't have to recuperate the money back through the sales.
Yeah.
For putting it on the system, it's already been paid for.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
all the ones that were announced were kind of oldish titles, aren't they? That are finally arriving. You've got BlazBlue, Cross Tag Battle. I think that's coming next year. Guilty Gear Strive, which is a decent game, not as good as the last one, but it's still reasonably good. But you've got newer stuff as well, haven't you? Like Gungrave Gore. I think is going on to Game Pass, and the next demo that I'll be talking about as well, that's going on to Game Pass.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
so
I mean,
they are getting the Japanese games, but they're generally only if they're being put on Game Pass.
Well, yeah, but also these games have, like, most of them have already been on PlayStation and the Nintendo Switch for a while as well before they hit the Xbox as well. I mean, I'm happy for them to hit Game Pass because one, I love Japanese games. Anyone too just gives the games a bit more exposure to people that generally wouldn't buy them, and they might find some games that they enjoy.
Well, it gives them more diversity to the games they've actually got on there. They end up giving everyone a little bit of what they want.
Yeah, definitely. Cool.
Because they fully, I was going to say, I remember they fully marketed Scarlet Nexus.
Yeah.
Showcases and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when the game released, it sold absolutely horrendously on the Xbox.
Yeah.
I think the Xbox counted for like 10% of the total game sales.
I think it went on Game Pass for a little while. I think it's come off it now.
Yeah, it then ended up going on Game Pass and actually getting a lot of players due to it being on Game Pass, because obviously as well, you have got more of a thing, I believe, on Xbox than other systems of you've got less people actually willing to buy games now.
Yeah.
Because of Game Pass.
Yeah.
People are just like, well, I've got Game Pass, I'm paying for this. I might as well just wait for it to end up on there.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean, but I do think like the only thing that's annoying about Game Pass though is games come off it. So like if there's a game on Game Pass, I think I'll get to that at some point, and then when it comes round to it, sometimes it's come off Game Pass. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be playing that one then. You know what I mean?
At least I suppose if you get there when you know it's coming off, you can usually pick it up at a reduced price.
Yeah, true. But part of Game Pass instead of buying it is even better. So yeah, it's just part of it.
If it's the first party Microsoft game, then you don't need to worry about it ever coming off Game Pass because it'll always be on there.
Yeah.
Which is why I think Microsoft are trying to buy up as much as they possibly can, because then it's like, well, this isn't going to come off. It will be on there for as long as.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that's back to you. Oh, no, you're actually talking about Ni no Kuni, weren't you?
Yeah, so it's Nick's go.
My turn. Yeah. So, yeah, Tekken 7, because that's a game, I played it a few years ago because it was on Game Pass and they took it off. So, so that's good timing. But yeah, I saw it was on sale for like £18 for like the ultimate edition with all like loads of DLC and costumes and stuff like that. So I thought, why not? Because they announced, was it Tekken 8 the other week at the whatever thing the thing was.
Yeah, the Sony event. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
the
it
Sony
looked
thing.
fucking great. Like, didn't it?
Oh,
Yeah,
the
it did, and
graphics.
then-
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when I looked at this, and I'm like, is my TV broken? This looks like crap.
No, do you know why? I didn't realise. I watched like a video by if you're into sort of like your fighting games, there's a YouTuber that's been like on the fighting game scene for years called Maximilian Dude. He's like basically he bases his entire channel around fighting games and the fighting game community. And obviously, he was really impressed by what they showed of Tekken 8. And he said, do you remember Tekken 7? That game actually started development in the 360 PS3 era.
Oh, wow.
And that's why it does look slightly dated. I still think it looks great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
like
just
Tekken 7.
it's just the backgrounds like look a little bit blurry, and plus there's a bit, I can't remember it looking that bad. Maybe because we've had games that are looking better now, and then going back to that. I mean, how old is that? It's got to be what, 4 years old now?
It's yeah, I think it was around the time I picked it up when the Pro was roughly about.
Yes,
I
it might be
believe.
longer than that, but
Or the VR, because there's a VR mode, isn't there, on the
Oh, was there?
PS4 version? Yes, I believe it's just a 3D character model that you can look at.
as long as it's
VR.
Nina, that's good then, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I went through arcade mode with a couple of characters like Paul and Laura I used to play with. It's just hard sometimes because, when I keep switching between so many different fighting games, I'm like, this is Tekken, stop playing it like Soul Calibur, and stuff like that. But it's okay. And then there's like the arcade mode, and then there's a weird story mode where it just plays like FMVs and stuff is happening for whatever reason. And then you fight someone, sometimes 2 or 3 people, one after the other. And then you watch another cutscene. So I played that for about half an hour, and I thought, I've got bored now. Plus, for some reason, I don't know if I was jumping backwards and forwards in the timeline, but I had Hahachi, kicked the crap out of his little boy and chucked him in the volcano.
Oh.
I'm like, that's a bit harsh. Or chucked him off.
Yeah, that's Tekken 1, that.
Yeah, so I think that was like a flashback or something, but...
Okay, I do remember what game these story things happen in these games.
Yeah, he was like 10 years old. I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. And now Nina's on there in like a latex catsuit undone to a belly button, which I appreciate, but I'm like, fair enough, I suppose. Plus that was all in, I mean, you'd like it, that was all in Japanese with subtitles. So I'm like, zoning out a bit, because normally with fighting games, I'll play them when I'll have like some music on or something in the background, or YouTube playing something.
Yeah.
But also, even though I put it on easy, because I haven't really played Tekken since Tekken 3 properly, because when you only had like 2 or 3 games, you just played what you had all the time, didn't you? But, I never noticed, like, the AI was so cheap in this. I've never known the AI to hit you on the floor and juggle you as much in this game as like any other game I've ever played or any other fighting game.
Yeah, no, I remember Tekken 5 being quite brutal on the was that the PS3 or the PS2? I had that on.
I don't know. It might be the PS. I think one
Jim
came out
Pachi in it,
really
the
late,
main
didn't it?
end boss, who's like Hihachi's father or the granddad, basically, of the family. It was like super demonic sort of style. He used to kick the shit out of you at the end of the game, almost. I think the only Tekken game I never really truly got on with was Tekken 4. It was like kind of strange, and they added like a load of new characters and things to it, to it, and I don't think it did particularly well. And 5 was like back to basics.
What system was 4 on?
I believe it probably would have been PS2.
Oh, okay. I remember playing Tekken with Eddie Gordo and pissing
that was
off
Tekken 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah, Tekken 3 had Eddie, and I think I want to say Tekken 5 or 6, they introduced, I think it's Christy, I want to say Christy, who's basically just a palette swap of him.
Mm.
So she does all like the breakdance and spinny moves and stuff as well. So I remember I played as her when it was on Game Pass before, because I'm like, so we can't play as Eddie, that's cheating. I'm like, all right, I'll play as Christy. But yeah, there's a weird thing in this which I can't remember last time, because I don't know if it was because I didn't play the story mode, but to do some of the moves, it's like what's the word? Like an easier way. You hold like one of the bumper buttons and then just press one button and he'll do a move. Rather than do that.
They've added like easy modes of inputs for quite a few fighting games these days.
I can't remember that.
That's very newbie.
It's to try and get people. It's to try and get more people into it, because it's kind of in one of those places. If you go online, you will get destroyed by people who just rinse fighting games all day, and it's obviously not fun for new players.
Yeah.
And for those of people that weren't brought up in the arcade era, you try telling kids nowadays to do a dragon punch and their brains will probably melt. Like, what? I've got to push forward, then down, then diagonal forward, and then a button.
Yeah, I suppose.
So
it is weird. I don't know if they've changed, the buttons and the inputs compared to Tekken 2 and 3, because I remember like a year or so ago I played through Tekken 2, like on the PS1, and I played loads of 2 and 3, and I was playing through the characters on there, and I was just pulling off the moves. They were just coming back to me. I didn't look at the book or remember. That was just like say muscle memory. They were just coming back to me.
Yeah.
But it wasn't working in this game because I assume they've changed some of the buttons. So like I played mostly Law. I think it was Law with Tekken 1, then Paul with Tekken 2, and then Eddie with Tekken 3. But some of the moves, I was like, why are you not doing the moves? The game is. I'm blaming the game, obviously, not me.
Yeah.
And the control.
I mean, Tekken to me has always had, not necessarily when it comes to the moves, but as far as the button layouts, like one of the better ones. Because it's literally left and right punch, left and right kick. That's your buttons.
Yeah.
And they're exactly where you want them to be, and a combination of the two is going to do grabs and side steps and all that kind of stuff. So that's one of the things I've always enjoyed about the Tekken fighting games when it comes to that, because at least like with Street Fighter, it's the 6 buttons, and you always end up having a map if you're not using a joystick, like some of the buttons to shoulder buttons.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it a bit shit. Like I usually end up putting like mediums or lights on the shoulder buttons, because if I have the heavies and stuff on there, I sometimes struggle.
Yeah, that's why I always like playing on the Saturn controller. I've just got the 6 face buttons in it. That's why that is. I know it sounds, but it is a lot easier when they're there rather than up the top.
It's just going back to me struggling like back on Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo, because of the needing to put the certain buttons on the top.
Fair enough.
Yep. So who's next? Switch.
No, it'd be back to Webs.
Oh, back to Webby.
Is it me again? It's bloody hell. It's gone full circle again, isn't it? Wow. Okay. So I've been playing lots of. I'm just back to COD again, basically. I've already mentioned it. But I've been playing Call of Duty Vanguard a hell of a lot this week. With my next door neighbour, which has been really, really cool. I'm just trying to give it a bit of a last hurrah, because I know obviously Modern Warfare's out next month and Vanguard will be deleted to make hard drive space. And also been playing a little bit of Warzone with Collie Wally this week as well. So yeah, that's me done on the CODs. I've only got one other game I've played, so I'm trying to milk it a little bit here.
Oh, that's fair enough. Go for it.
All right. my last game then. I've been playing quite a bit of Battlefield 2042 this week as well. So it's nice to see that Bolo has picked it up. So he rinsed through his trial and he enjoyed it so much he bought it. So that's good, and he's really loving it. He's been putting messages in Discord saying, Battlefield's back, baby, so good, blah blah blah. So that's good, and it's just been really nice. So I've not actually had a game with him yet, but I did have a late night with Clarky a couple of nights ago, and a morning with Clarky, which was awesome. And also with Sly Almond. So me, Clarky, and Sly poning noobs on some Battlefield. And I know it had a bad start, and I know people aren't, have been soured on it. But it is sad in a way because it was reduced to £10 on Amazon the other day. And none of the guys I said it was down to a tenner actually picked it up still, which is quite sad because it is actually pretty decent. It's worth a tenner. I mean, come on, 10 quid. So anyway, they've added another new map to it recently, which is like in a desert with an abandoned like tanker ship in the middle, and it's actually quite well done. But yeah, they've changed up some of the game modes, so you can now do rush on every single map, which wasn't on there before. So we've just kind of been changed up between conquest and rush, and it's just a nice way to mix up the games a little bit, and just having a blast on it really. And it's just that good old teamwork when you're playing with your mates. It's really good. I'm usually the squad leader, and I'm marking up the objectives so we get the extra points. Etc. And then obviously you got all the vehicles and stuff as well, like your tanks and your helicopters and all that stuff, which is really, really fun. So yeah, we've been really enjoying some Battlefield this week. It's just been really nice to actually play it with people I know in a party chat and doing a bit of teamwork. So yeah, that's literally all I've played this week. So back to you, Nick.
Yeah, I've only played one more anyway. So I played Need for Speed Payback.
Bloody hell, that is old.
I know, but I bought it when it came out, and I've only just played it. I've been busy, I told you. And yeah, well, actually, I bought it and then never played it, and then I bought it digitally for like $3.50.
Wow.
Plus, then because I can't be bothered to take it out of the plastic. That's too much like hard work. I could cut my hand. And but I noticed on Game Pass they were giving away like the Ultimate Edition Season Pass add-on thing for nothing.
Oh, okay.
So you can like click that and get the code, and then put the code in, and it upgrades it to the Super Edition.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried that, and that says, "Oh, you already own this." I was like, "Do I?" I can't
Lols.
So I was like, "Oh, all right." Well, I thought, well, I better actually play this because I can't remember why I bought it because I think I liked the car on the front of the cover. I think there might have been like a skyline on the front of it or something.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, "Oh, I want that car. I want that game." It was either a Skyline or a GTR, but both the same, really. Oh, anyway, yeah, but I played it for about an hour and I don't like it at all. It's just.
Oh.
It's actually making me feel ill playing it, and I don't know what, but I do know why, because it's doing this weird thing, like it keeps shaking the like the whole screen around the car.
Yeah.
That really annoys me in games when they like shake the screen.
It's like every time he changes gear, I was like, and then the whole screen just shakes and wobbles, and then when you go round a corner, even though I've got the car on the view I want, it zooms in onto the back of the car and like at a funny angle.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm trying to steer here, and now I'm in a wall. And I'm like, stop it! And it was just make every time it was changing gear and turning the corner, it just kept shaking me, and it was starting to give me a headache.
Yeah,
and I don't know if it's like motion sickness or something like that. Maybe I was just a bit tired. But I used to get the same thing when I used to try and play Rocket League as well.
Oh, really?
Because you kept looking, because I was looking at, maybe because I've got a huge 65-inch TV, maybe that's something to do with it. But it's like you kept, like when you use the mode where you hold the button so you can see where the ball is,
Yeah,
and it's like
yeah.
looking up. It just made me feel a bit sick and motion sick. Plus, the graphics aren't that clever. But I looked, that game came out in 2017, so
Yeah.
it's 5 years ago. But that's not bad, you know. I think I paid £3.50 to buy it digitally.
Oh.
So I suppose it was worth £3.50.
Yeah, you got your £3.50, mate.
Yeah, I
That's
got my
what I find.
£3.50 work. I felt sick. I could have paid that and gone on a roller coaster, and that would have made me feel sick. So that's pretty much the same thing. But yeah, so I think I shall be deleting that later because I don't want to be sick when I'm driving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's me done.
Cool, mate.
Ah,
Yeah.
well, might
News?
Are we
finish
all?
off and round it out.
Yeah. Have you got
I've
any?
still got.
I was gonna say, Darren's got games.
Oh, he's
well,
got more games. Oh, sorry, mate.
I
I
have
thought you said
played
you were
more
done.
games, but there's only one I'll really talk about because the other ones are all just log on, do a daily, jump off kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, during one of the presentations at TGS, they showed off more of a game called Wolong Fallen Destiny, which was also shown during the Xbox E3 showcase.
Yep.
I've downloaded this. I want to play this.
This is basically, if you've played Nioh, this is the Dynasty Warriors of Nioh.
Oh, okay.
Nioh is obviously based on Japanese history, etc., whereas this is based on a more mystical version of like the Romance of the Three Kingdoms era stuff. So
Is
it's a
that
Souls-like
Japanese or Chinese?
Chinese. So
Okay.
it's a Souls-like game. So you get to create your character at the start, as you could with Nioh 2, I think. With the original Nioh, you were just left as the standard guy, Will Adams, basically, he was based upon. And you fight your way through various battlefields in sort of like Souls manner. So you kill enemies, they drop like a currency, which you can then use to spend to level up. If you get taken out, you obviously drop it all. You've got multiple sort of fighting styles you can go as. I think there's like 5 in total. I went as one who's more support based, so that means you can cast sort of magic that will give you healing buffs. So you can sort of like cast a healing spell, and then when you're dealing damage to an enemy, it will regen health segments that you've lost.
Okay.
But this is all kind of about the flow of the actual battle. Where I was on about like the tutorial for Valkyrie Elysium, straight away with this tutorial, I was in. I
Oh
was like,
wow.
I'm like the feel of this. I like the look of it. The way you can switch between 2 melee weapons and 2 ranged weapons as well, with just up, down, left, and right on the D-pad with one of the shoulder buttons.
Oh, excellent.
It's pretty good. So I had like a short sword, and I also had, I think it's known as a glaive. It's basically like the kind of weapon Guan Yu uses in the Dynasty Warriors games, or a pole arm kind of a thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Gives you a lot more
Yeah.
damage, but it's a lot slower to swing. So you've got like pretty good traversal, so you can sort of like clamber up rocks, you can jump down and sort of like assassinate enemies as well for quick kills from behind with certain attacks. You've got a very sort of parry system to the game, where you can double tap to sort of roll or dodge out of the way, or if you hit it at the right time, you'll basically parry the enemy's weapon and leave them open for an attack, which has to be done during unblockables because you obviously can't just hold block to block them.
Okay.
As you progress through the levels, you will find various points where you can basically put down a flagpole, which the equivalent of like lighting a bonfire, we'll say, in like a Souls game. Gives you a new resting point, and also whichever morale you have built up to that point, it won't drop. Your character's morale will, because every time you kill an enemy, you build up like a morale bar.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get hit, you lose morale. And it's all about however much morale you've got enables you access to your magics or your summons, because you can actually summon like deities in to sort of fight with you.
Okay, is this
as well.
Darren? Is this demo only available on PlayStation?
It's on PlayStation and Xbox.
Oh, is it? Oh, cool.
Yeah,
And how?
I think, is it right? It's only playable for 10 days or something like that. Someone
yes,
told me.
they're turning the servers off, I believe, on the 26th.
Oh, okay.
So my friend was worried because he was like, "Oh, that means it's always online," and I'm like, "No, it's probably been enabled that way for the demo,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the way the old Resident Evil games would have a timer on them.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
couldn't like rinse them. There are other sort of demos which just are set to require the internet. It's just so you can't sort of rinse them. But I believe this game is also going to have like full-on co-op, because I've seen like gameplay where they're in co-op, and obviously which makes sense of having different characters from different disciplines. So if you've
Yeah.
got a support character, they can buff your allies or players that you're working with. But as you're progressing through the battlefield, each enemy you come across has their own morale, which basically determines how strong they are. And taking down a tougher opponent with more morale than you will significantly increase your morale more than if you're just wailing on peons, as it were, as
Ah.
well. So there's kind of an interesting dynamic there of how you maneuver around the level to sort of like build up morale, to enable you access to more of your move set, etc. There's also the usual thing of like enemies will drop items, or you can like loot chests to pick stuff up. There's also the traditional kind of like bloodstains that you'll see laying around. They look purple on this. At
Oh,
first,
okay.
I thought it was their way of showcasing that the enemies held that sector, because there was a lot of them around a certain area. But then
Oh.
when I approached it, it said, "Here lies the body of such and such," and you can like fight their spirit, which was, I think, something again that you could do in Nioh back in the day, like fight
Oh.
a CPU avatar of them, or if you killed the enemy that killed them, it says like, "Congratulations, you have avenged the death of so and so."
Ah. Is
Because
it
I did
quite
that like
difficult as well? Like the fights?
it's kind of soulsy in the fact that like three or four good hits and you're going down.
Ah, okay.
So same can be said about the enemies, but the whole thing had it just felt really good, like to play.
Oh, that's
Like
good.
the actual gameplay side of it felt fluid and smooth and everything, and it's pretty badass, like taking someone out with your weapon and then like your character will just like spin it around and
Mm.
stick it back on their back in like a nice sort of martial arty way.
What
So
did
they
you think of the
obviously
graphics? Sorry, mate. What did you think of the graphics?
graphics are fairly decent. I played it in prioritised frame rate because
Mm-hmm.
for a Souls game, you kind of need to do that,
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
when it's coming down precision parrying and such.
yeah,
It didn't seem quite as needy for the precision as, like, say, Sekiro, which basically made its living off the parry system. If you
yeah,
couldn't parry in that game, you were screwed.
yeah.
But yeah, this looks to be very promising, and the fact that it's actually going to be a Game Pass game on day one is a bit of a feather in the hat,
Yeah,
really.
that's pretty insane. But you don't have Game Pass, do you? Will you pick up Game Pass, or are you going to buy the game?
No, I'd just buy the game
What system are you
if
going to
that
get it
was the
on?
case.
That is the question of the ages.
I haven't decided.
Well, I think if you want to do it on,
I know people will be playing it on the PlayStation.
yeah, but if you want to do co-op, I'm guessing more people you know will get it on Game Pass, right?
I'd have a feeling it would be cross-platform.
Oh, if it's crossplay, that would be
But I'm not too sure.
amazeballs.
They still haven't really announced how well the co-op's going to work or anything yet. I've just seen like video
Yeah.
footage where it looks like it's definitely possible.
Right. Okay.
But yes, this is going to have um, characters obviously from that mythology. I remember seeing in the trailers like Lubu, who I dread to think what he's going to be like in this,
I've no idea who you're on about.
considering Lubu is basically one of the most famous generals of Chinese history, like the epitome of a complete and utter like badass.
Oh,
Like
okay.
pretty pig-headed from how he was portrayed, and it eventually ended up costing him his head in the end.
Right.
But yeah, he was basically a general that served under the warlord Dong Zhuo.
Okay.
And he's basically he's in a famous battle at Hulao Gate that took place during that era. And you're going to bump into all these different characters from obviously those historic stories. At the start, I could tell straight away that because all of the enemies you're fighting have got like yellow bandanas and stuff, which I depict to be like the yellow turbans, which was basically like almost a peasant rebellion. Like both Japanese and Chinese history is very fascinating. Like when you read up on a lot of the stories and tales of like how these different clans and groups of people came together to try and make the country a better place.
That's pretty awesome.
Varying different ideals, different ideologies of how things should run, betrayals.
Well, they've got a lot of history, haven't
People,
they? They're very old countries.
yeah, well, certain generals actually falling under oath and joining the opposing side.
Oh.
And then ending up leaving the opposing side and then rejoining the army they were originally with.
That's bizarre. I didn't think they'd be allowed to do that with all the honour and all that stuff.
Well, no, the honour was more of a Japanese thing than it is the Chinese.
Right, okay.
When it comes to that sort of aspect, falling on your own sword and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a promising game to keep an eye out for. I'm not too sure when the release date is. I'm hoping it's not February because that month is looking fucking stupid next year.
Yeah, I know.
Like from all of the announcements that we've had and stuff that's been mentioned, I've just kind of been looking at the early releases of next year. In fact, next year in general for games is ridiculous.
I know, mate. It's we're going to struggle to keep up, I think.
You've got like big hitters from every platform next year.
Yeah.
Next year's game of the year is going to be like some pretty interesting stuff with 2 huge Final Fantasy games coming out.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that Crisis Core is available to pre-order on Xbox now. It come up as an advert on my system the other day.
Yeah, you've obviously got Starfield, a huge sprawling open world RPG.
Yeah.
And then you've obviously got Nintendo waving at you with the Breath of the Wild 2.
Oh,
or whatever
yeah.
It's got a different name, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Because there was a Nintendo Direct, wasn't there, just before the PlayStation State of Play the other day?
Yeah, I've fucking pretty much ignored most of the stuff on that, to be honest.
Did you watch State of Play?
Yeah, I did. I can't really remember. I just skimmed because I watched it a couple of days after it come out, so I just kind of skimmed it.
Well, we can roll into the news if you want. Cause
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of that's all mixed in with that. Because I'm done, like with talking about what we was.
Well, let's roll into the news then. I don't have a lot of stuff written down from State of Play and stuff. I don't actually have anything from State of Play written down at all, so I'll have to rely on you a bit for this, Darren. But before we get on to that, today, a load of Grand Theft Auto 6 gameplay videos and screenshots have leaked, haven't they?
About 90 odd.
Yeah. And it's very early, like it's pre-alpha stuff. I would say, like, because like,
yeah, have you seen some of it then?
Yeah, I watched some of the videos. So one of them that does look quite finished is like there's you play as a lady, as the main character, and you're like robbing this cafe.
Yes, I did notice the only thing there where I knew it was obviously was that you can blatantly tell there's no textures on anything per se.
Yeah, and there's like writing over every single character, like code names and all that sort of stuff. And I mean, I don't think it's going to be out for at least another few years.
Oh
Looking
no,
at the state of it,
2 or 3 years away. Yeah.
yeah, but it's just quite interesting. I mean, I've never known a dump that big of leaks of a game ever. So
That's a server hack. It has to be a server hack, and they just offloaded everything they found.
Yeah, or Rockstar have pissed off a now ex-employee or something.
Someone's getting sued.
Yeah, but yeah, it's quite
Along
interesting,
with this,
though, mate.
there was actually photos leaked of Red Dead Redemption remaster.
Oh,
as well with it, and some other bits.
Oh, I didn't see any of that. Oh, that's quite interesting, isn't it? Yeah, so that happened today, and at one of the events, I can't remember which one it was now, GoldenEye coming to N64 and Xbox. Did you see this, guys?
Yes, kind of coming to Xbox.
Well, yeah, this is what I wanted to get to. I like when it was first announced. I saw it. I can't remember what event it was. Was it a TTGS event?
It's probably I imagine
it was
Nintendo. The Nintendo.
Oh,
Direct.
anyway, yeah. So at first I was pretty excited because I thought, oh man, we'll be able to jump online and play it. No, the online is exclusive to the Switch, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Like the one system that has really shit online, and GoldenEye Online is exclusive to the Switch. Also, it's not the remake that they did for the 360. It's just the original N64 game up-resed.
Yeah.
Like,
and their track record of that N64 stuff has been really poor. Emulation with input lag in the controller, really, especially for Zelda Ocarina of Time. They said that's almost unplayable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not bothered about the Switch version, even though it's only available on the Switch if you have that online pass thingy.
Yeah.
But on the Xbox, I'm just I'm a little bit disappointed. I mean, it's coming, which is great, but I just wish it was that remake that they did for the 360 and not an N64 bloody upgrades. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I'm a little bit disappointed in that.
So this isn't the remake that leaked then? This is a different one, is it?
No, it's a different one, yeah.
What happened to that then?
They won't let them release it.
No.
Oh right, yes, but they're just holding the license, are they?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, if you have a hacked Xbox 360, you can download it off the internet and play it.
Because it had achievements and everything, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but they just never released it. So with this N64 upres version, there is Chivo, so you can still go through the campaign, but obviously it just won't look as good as that 360 one that they did and leaked online. Yeah. So in some ways, I'm happy because I love GoldenEye, but on the other side, I'm like, I can't play it online. But it does have local verses, so you could, if you have real life friends and get them round on the sofa with 4 controllers and play it split screen like the good old days.
And then punch them when they chase job and stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It happened last time I played with people in London. I was beating them at the fighting games and I got punched. So no.
Yeah. So I mean,
they said winner stays on, and then an hour later I was still on.
Yeah. But so yeah. I mean, it has some positives, but it has some negatives. I'm just very disappointed they didn't just say, yeah, just release that 360 remake you did. It's just going. And my last thing is that there's some Game Pass stuff coming. I think you mentioned most of it: Cross Tag Battle, Guilty Gear, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Deathloop, some RPG I
Oh
can't
yeah, I
read the
saw the
name of.
Deathloop thing. Right,
Yeah,
you too can play a 10 out of 10 game that you wonder why it got 10 out of 10
yeah,
reviews.
yeah, I know. So that's all the news I've got written down. So I think, Darren, we need to ask you about the events that happened that I didn't write down any info on.
Well, TGS was actually kind of a bit of a wet fart, to be honest. It wasn't anywhere near as big as I was expecting it to be. Like I said, a lot of the stuff mentioned and showed off was sort of like for mobile games and sort of like things about Genshin Impact, etc.
Yeah, yeah.
Per usual.
That game is so popular.
Yeah, I will say the big standout for me from TGS, or the one that sort of got me the most hyped, I will say, is probably the news, like the extra footage and news from Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it?
So yeah, they showed off 4 more characters. So I think they've pretty much rolled out most of the classic roster now. So they've showed
Mm.
off Ken, they showed off Dalsim, they showed off E Honda, and they showed off Blanca, who looks really weird now. Blanca, he looks more like a gorilla than ever.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense because I'm guessing that's what they were kind of going for with him anyway, being like a sort of like gorilla human hybrid
Mm.
kind of thing
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
to a degree.
I like the cartoon styles. Did you ever? Because I picked up the Street Fighter 2 remake they did on the Nintendo Switch, and it was fucking amazing. Like the art
Was
style on
that the
that was great.
HD one?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that was released on the 360 and stuff as
yeah,
well back
yeah.
in the day.
That art style is amazing. That's kind of one of my favorite art styles for Street Fighter games.
Hmm. So yes, they showed off the new characters. They
Yeah,
also showed off an in-depth kind of look at the world tour mode, because this game isn't just going to be like your normal fighting as it were,
yeah.
like you get with standard games. So in the world tour mode, you will be creating your own avatar and basically running around an open world,
That is pretty cool.
interacting with people and training at dojos and places run by the characters from the game to learn moves from them, to
Ah,
basically do out your character how you want.
well,
So
that
you
sounds
could
cool.
probably learn different moves off different masters and stuff. And it seems that some of these moves and stuff help you traverse around the world a bit easier as well.
Yeah,
Because they showed someone sort of going from balcony to balcony with like Chun-Li's spinning bird kick and stuff.
nice.
And it just seems really weird. And then there was another part where the person was like going through like almost looked like a side-scrolling beat 'em up section
Oh,
with his
nice.
avatar, almost akin to like say Tekken Force back in the day.
Oh,
So that could be an extra aspect added to it. But then came the more interesting part. If anyone's ever played any of the Arc System Works fighting games in recent years, they've basically taken the online lobbies to their own little thing, where you go in there as an avatar and you walk around an area and you see other people's avatars and that walking around, and you can interact with each other and sit down on machines to
that's
obviously
cool.
play each other. Or like you can spectate other people's matches by going over to watching them play and then pushing the button to sort of like connect to their stream.
Okay, that's pretty
It looks
awesome.
like you can do all of this in the new one,
Yeah.
but during the presentation, you will notice he sits down at a Final Fight arcade cabinet and starts playing it.
Oh, so you think it's going to come to
And then
arcades?
during the presentation, he actually said like, "Yeah, you can sit down at some of the old Street Fighter cabinets and you can play them." And then it showed him playing like Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting or something. And I'm
Oh,
like, "That's
wicked.
awesome." So even while you're just mucking around in the lobby, you can play old Capcom fighting games.
Oh, that's a really cool idea, isn't it?
Yeah. because you like they're sold all over the place and everywhere now. Anyway, so the only worry I have left for this game is how much of an online live service title is it going to be?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Because they announced as well that the game's launching with 18 characters, which I think the guy on the Twitter thing, the YouTube, said that's like one of the biggest rosters, opening rosters for a Street Fighter they've had. But from the character leak that happened like 6 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
there's still a multitude of characters that are obviously missing, like Akuma's not there.
Well, they're
And a
gonna
few
do
others.
the usual fighter thing and sell characters separately, aren't they?
Yeah. They'll bring stuff in later. Whether they're actually going to charge you or not for these, I don't know. They might just slowly roll them out
Yeah. Wow.
as a way to keep people invested. But I imagine they will probably charge you for them or
Yeah.
whatnot. So it's again, I'm excited, but knowing their current business model with Street Fighter Five, I'm kind of stood back a little bit, trying to sort of like tame the expectations.
Yeah.
We shall say. But yeah, they also announced for this an open beta, well, a closed beta, sorry, not an open beta, a closed beta. If you go on one of their websites and sign up, I think it's taking place at the beginning of next month.
Mm.
And again, the YouTube guy, Maximilian, said it's strange they haven't given us a release date for this game yet. It's almost as though they're waiting for the results from this closed beta to come back to see how long or how much they have to work on the game to make improvements and changes.
Mm.
Because he said we've hardly seen anything of Resident Evil 4, but yet that's got a solid release date. Whereas he said this still hasn't. Although he said if I am guessing a release date, if everything goes to well, he was like maybe February, and I'm like, don't say February. Right.
Oh dear.
So yeah, that for me was one of the standouts. So as far as I know, I didn't see anything about like Grand Blue Fantasy at the show. I don't know if there was any extra information about Tekken 8 at the show. Again, we've only seen the two characters from that, which is Kazuya and Jin. There was well, actually, we're going to the PlayStation thing because we can sort of elaborate off of that. You had the PlayStation State of Play, which I personally think was one of the best state of plays we've had. In fact, they've had some pretty good ones lately. Started off with Tekken 8, looked fantastic. It's running on the new Unreal Engine, and you can kind of tell. There was people that were taken aback a bit because of the fact that it looks like gameplay mixed with cutscenes, because that's exactly what it is. And they were like, "Oh, is the gameplay all going to be interrupted with cutscenes and stuff?" And I was like, "No, that's just how they did the trailer." Because you've got to have a constant sort of flow to a fight in a fighting game, otherwise it doesn't really work, and
Yeah.
people aren't really into it. So they showed that off. I thought that was fantastic. Then they showed off a couple of VR games, which were probably two of the like, I'm not really interested in Star Wars that much anymore.
Mm.
And this was like a Star Wars Galaxy's Edge VR game where it's like explore Galaxy's Edge and take part in these stories. And I thought, yeah, good for kids, just not for me.
Yeah.
And then there was another one, Demio, which I think's out already.
Yeah, I've got that on PC.
Yeah.
And that did actually come out a couple of years ago as a VR only game.
Right. So it's already been on VR.
So it's already been out in VR on PC for a couple of years, and then they literally released it this year, a version for just your screen, like a normal version. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's actually a really good game. Really, really enjoyable.
Yeah, it's an old school sort of dungeon.
It's like a Dungeons and
Dragons.
Yeah. You have like little figures and you move them around and you roll your your dice for different moves and stuff. It's really, really fun. Actually, it's all co-op. You're fighting the dungeons.
Right.
Yeah, it's
No,
really
that's fair
good.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they showed that off. I'm trying to think what was roughly after. They also showed off. Oh, that was it. That was what was after. And I sussed out exactly what it was as soon as they announced that. And now from Sega, a brand new, well, a remastered game that has never been released in the West. And I
What's
cottoned
that?
on to pretty much what it was going to be. Well, we knew it as Yakuza Ishin,
Oh
which was the
yeah,
samurai-based Yakuza game. But it's now getting a full-on sort of like redo, akin to like the Kiwami games did
yeah,
recently, and it's getting renamed to Like a Dragon
yep,
Ishin
yep,
because it sounds like they're rebranding all the Yakuza games to this Like a Dragon instead. They're like ditching the Yakuza moniker off of them.
yeah. Strange, isn't
Um,
it?
I yes and no. I know that obviously the Yakuza isn't a very favourable thing in Japan.
Right. Yeah.
Like this, it's because of the Yakuza, which is one of the reasons why they don't like tattooed people that much in
Yeah.
the country because
Yeah.
they're mainly the only people in Japan that have tattoos are Yakuza.
Yeah.
And if you've got tattoos, you're banned from entering certain bathhouses and places like that, public
Right.
spaces,
Okay.
etc. But anyway, this looks awesome. Like, did you watch the trailer for
Yeah, I did
this?
actually watch the trailer for that. Yeah, it does look cool. Yeah, yeah, well good. So I'm looking forward to that.
So, also splicing in, this wasn't the only Yakuza game that was actually announced
Oh, what was the other one?
during
Oh,
TGS. Yakuza 8,
yes.
or Like a Dragon 8, was also announced.
Yeah, and Kiryu's in it,
Um,
isn't he? I think.
yes,
Yeah.
and also Like a Dragon Gaiden, which Gaiden in Japan is sort of side story. So this is going
Oh.
to tell the story of where Kiryu was from the end of Yakuza
Yeah.
up to where he joins, obviously, the new one.
Yeah, nice.
So there's 3 Yakuza games or Like a Dragon games on the way, and they're
Wow.
all, I think, due out. Well, at least 2 of them are. I will say, not Kiwami, Ishin and the Gaiden, I believe, are both out definitely next year.
Nice.
So that'll be fun to check out. I believe they're now coming out on everything.
Excellent. Yeah, because
So
the
yeah,
Judgment games are
it's
coming to PC soon
yes.
because
I didn't realise they weren't on PC. I thought they would have been.
no, so there was an issue with his PR, like the main guy's PR agency or
Oh,
something.
right. He didn't want modders to fucking muck about with his likeness and stuff,
Yeah,
did
that's
they?
it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's right. I remember this story now.
yeah. So obviously that's been sorted now. So yeah, all good, mate.
Good, good, good. Yeah, so some cool Yakuza stuff to come.
Was that
They
it? Any other
showed.
news? Or?
Oh no, there was other bits, wasn't there? They showed off a new. I think it's like Bandai Namco kind of game, Synergis or something. Sorry if I can't remember the name of it. Where basically you're like a guy in a mech, and
All
it
right.
looked like he was kind of trying to survive on a planet, like by farming minerals and stuff and fending off the local wildlife, etc.
Oh.
Whilst also dealing with other people trying to come and steal things. And it looked like it had online multiplayer as well, whether it's online versus or online co-op, I'm not too sure.
Okay.
Looked kind of okay. I wasn't like particularly blown away or sold on it, I will say. Then they showed off PlayStation Stars, which
Was
looks like a complete and utter waste of fucking time.
Is it like a battle royale
Um,
type game or something like a
no,
fighting game?
it's the stupid reward system that they've got on PlayStation. Where
Oh
you can unlock digital
yeah.
trophies. I was like, who the fuck wants this? Who
Ugh.
wants a 3D trophy of Ape Escape?
Oh, it's
What are you
ridiculous, isn't
supposed to
it?
do
Yeah,
with that?
yeah,
What is the point in this? I'd
yeah.
rather have like a lentacular card or something. Like this does not work in a digital space.
No.
It's just stupid. It's like, say, if you went into a game and you had collectibles in a game and you went onto a shelf and you picked up a snow globe and you used the analog to rotate it around, like in a Naughty Dog game or something. I'm
Yeah,
like, yes, great. What, you unlock stuff like that? Pointless.
yeah,
Waste of time.
yep.
So yeah, oh well, we'll have to see where that goes. But there was a lot of people that are like, oh, is this going to be like the new NFTs?
Yeah, I was thinking that
It's
actually
like,
when I saw that news story a
let's
while
not
ago.
hope so. But then again, if like people are like, oh, these are going to be really sought after, I'm like, what? Just as much as the fucking monkeys that look like they've been drawn by a 3-year-old clutching a crayon
Yeah.
between their teeth. Like, no. After that, I put on my happy face and I watched a brand new trailer announcement for what was once Project Eve, that is now called Stellar Blade, which I believe is the actual full working title for it.
Okay.
A lot of people seem to be quite upset because it's either that they said it's a PlayStation console exclusive. So obviously it's not coming to any other console platform, but
Right.
yet they haven't said it's actually coming to the PC yet either, and that's
Right.
annoyed me.
Okay. Yeah.
But I still think this game looks great. It looks visually spectacular. The combat looks very fast and fluid, very sort of Bayonetta-esque. This is obviously the developer's first game, I believe, as well, which is pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
And we finally got a release date of 2023.
Mm.
So another good game to look forward to next year, in my opinion. It'd be
Nice.
interesting to see if it gets a little more gritty. If you watch the initial announced trailer for Project Eve and this one, I will say when you watch the first one, it looks a lot more brutal. There's a lot
Okay.
more blood and gore
Oh, nice.
going on in the
Yeah.
original one. So is there Sony meddling going on? I don't know, because we know what they're like
Yeah.
when it comes to sort of like censorship and stuff, which is one of their issues at the moment.
Yeah.
Then we got a nice surprise announcement of another Koei Tecmo game, which at the start I thought was going to be a new Dynasty Warriors to maybe wash the taste of Dynasty Warriors 9 out of our mouths, which was an absolute abomination in my opinion. But it wasn't. It's a brand new open world samurai action RPG called Rise of the Ronin.
Okay.
And it looks pretty damn good. Only downside is this was announced for 2024. Again, this is they said PlayStation console exclusive, so should and probably will come to PC as well. But there's rumours of Ghost of Tsushima 2 is going to be around 2024.
Oh, nice.
And we're getting Assassin's Creed Red, which is the open world samurai Assassin's Creed in Japan
Woohoo.
in 2024. So 2024 for open world samurai games is looking pretty decent. The only downside is we might be sick of them by then,
Yeah, I was just
because
about to
when we
say.
were clamoring for them, no one was making them. And now everyone all of a sudden is like, oh yeah, do you know what people might actually really want to play? Because
Yeah.
in theory, the Yakuza Ishin's going to be, or like a Dragon Ishin's still going to be kind of open world samurai, isn't it? With
Yeah.
obviously a mix of the historic sort of comedy and stuff in there.
Yeah.
And then they wrapped up the show with a fantastic trailer for the new God of War,
Oh, yeah. I've got people
which I
excited.
thought was which I thought was initially going to be an absolute troll job, and they were just going to advertise a controller and fuck off.
That would have been funny.
I would have given it about 5 more minutes of darkened screen before kicking into the actual proper trailer, just to get people to be like, no, seriously. Like, but yeah, I'm quite happy to never see another thing about the game until I actually play it now.
Yeah, I know
Because
what
I
you
think
mean.
I got everything I kind of wanted out of that trailer, and they spoiled a couple of bits, in my opinion.
Right,
I
okay.
get why they showed it off because it was visually lovely, but to
Yeah.
actually have seen it for the first time would be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, very much looking forward to that. I'm hoping we finally get another really good quality sort of Sony first party game, because it's been a while since we've had one.
Yeah, I
I mean, we
know.
have had them, but they haven't really grabbed me like they have in the past.
Yeah.
I'll just say.
Yeah, I know. It's just 70 quid for a single player game just puts me off completely, you know.
I paid under 60.
Oh, that's not bad. Not bad at all.
No, exactly. Physical copies, mate. You
Yeah,
don't pay
cheaper.
70 quid for
Yeah.
physical.
Nice. Is there anything else? Any other news? Or we
I'm sure there probably was here and there. Like, to be honest, it's gaming news. There's always something going on, as we've
yeah.
known. I mean,
Well,
you
I've
turn
just
your
got
back and you wait.
two little ones that
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
come out. The Resi 4 remake has been announced that's coming out on the last gen as well.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yes, yeah.
Kind
that's
of upset
correct,
a few people because for the last year or so it's only said PS5 and Series X, and now they put it on there and they're just, arguing, oh, the old console is holding the new consoles back and blah,
It's
blah, blah,
Yeah.
not
blah,
that.
blah.
It's because they can't actually ship those new consoles to the people who want them. That's
Yeah,
one
you
of the
still
main
can't buy
issues.
them, so I just think they haven't sold.
Companies want to sell games, and yet
Mm.
you want them to be put on systems where you struggle to get them. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can get an Xbox Series X quite easily.
Yeah.
Like, they are readily available, and even my local CEX has got like 7 PS5s in at the moment.
Yeah, but
That they're obviously charging a bit of a silly price for.
well, just talking about prices, the PlayStation's put the price up, haven't they, of their console? It's now £480.
Yeah.
We're all in a worldwide recession. What should we do? I know.
Well, people are happy to
Let's
pay
bump the
over
price up a
500
bit.
to scalpers, didn't they? So
I mean, Xbox also stated that they're not raising the price of theirs.
yeah.
But then, like I say, I don't think Xbox are too bothered about whether they even make losses, because they're all about building up a brand and getting everyone tied into their Game Pass stuff, and
Yeah.
they can afford to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, mate.
But yeah, my mate was screaming about the fact that he's been waiting for From Software to announce a new Armored Core for like years now, and he was really expecting them to announce it at TGS, and they never did.
Oh, gutted.
So I'm wondering if a lot of because there's still a few games that are MIA, to be honest, that we know are being worked on and are out there. I think our last hope of any information on those now is going to be the Game Awards.
Great. Sitting through that shite. Just for the trailers. Oh, Jeff Keighley, I just fucking think he's a dick.
He's fine. He's just trying to do a job as best as he can. And you're always going to have some sort of form of corporate meddling or advertising stuff in there with it.
Yeah.
He does have a punchable face, though.
He does, yeah. And I just find him irritating.
It's just, he's like, oh, I don't know you, but I just want to punch you in the face. I'm sorry. But, yeah, so it's that. And then another bit of news, which is weird. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, a game I really like. There's, even though it's 2.5 years old, so next year, when it's 3 years old, is getting more DLC, like a season pass too, with like story content as well.
Oh.
Which is
it's
pretty cool.
story, isn't it?
Yeah, Baddock. So which is, it's really good. I mean, 3 years later, and they're still bringing out content for us. Mental.
That's impressive.
And it's getting PS5 and Series XS upgrade as well.
Yeah, but it said that, I don't know if that's just the new stuff, or it's got to be the old stuff as well, isn't it? If they can make the whole engine run on the next gen, it's got. I mean, I assume it's a free upgrade, or you have to pay for the season pass to get it. But
probably free on Xbox. Pay £10 on PlayStation.
Yeah, that's not what they do. But that's nice, the game is 3 years old. That's sort of like how they still keep these games going. Even like Xenoverse 2 is still getting content, and that game's like 6, 7 years old.
Wow.
Well, Dragon Ball is a huge franchise. It's been going since like the late 70s or early 80s, hasn't it?
Bloody hell, that is ancient old.
It's old, yeah. And Goku's had the same voice actor ever since the start.
Wow, that's impressive.
Well, yeah, the English dub, not the. I think it's Japanese. Yeah.
I think the Japanese one as well, possibly. It's basically the Japanese equivalent of like the Bart Simpson voice actor,
which is a lady.
Just still going and going and going years and years later. Yeah, same thing. It is I think it is a female who voices Goku in Japan.
Yeah, not the English dub though.
Oh, right.
No.
Sean Semel or something like that. I can't think of his name. I'm probably going to get.
There's a lot of voice actors in Japan, like where women voice men and men voice women and stuff. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Also funny. I see those guys on YouTube doing like videos and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, well, when you do the scream and when you're powering up, that's all like computerized, right?" And they're like, "No, that's how we do it." And they just sit there like screaming for like 3 minutes at the top of their lungs without taking a breath. And I'm like, "Wow, you're gonna die, dude. Breathe."
Yeah. Crazy.
I was going to say there is another bit of news which I suppose is technically to do with gaming.
Yeah, go on.
That Cyberpunk Edge Runners released this week, didn't it, on Netflix?
Yeah. Have you watched any of it?
Not yet. I've got it though, but I haven't actually watched it yet. I know someone who sat through the whole thing and they really enjoyed it.
Okay. See, like, I watched the first episode, and I just thought it was a bit weird, but then it got to the end, and I could kind of see where it was going to go. I think like the first episode was just setting it up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I believe it's 10 episodes, isn't it?
Yeah.
10 episodes long, but it's basically been trending on Twitter ever since it released. Every day it's in the trending on my trends.
Nice.
And it's caused the player counts in the game to spike considerably.
Oh.
So it's literally like this has given the game a second wind, because all of the locations pretty much from the anime are in the game. You can visit them in the game.
Nice.
Because it's set in the same city.
Yeah.
So there was like people who made the game saying, yeah, this is where this scene's set, and sort of showing you where it is in the game and all of that. And I thought that's like pretty cool, because there is crossover characters from the game and the TV series, etc.
Nice. God, I was just thinking, because I completed it so long ago. No, it's not. No.
So if you've got young kids, like, don't let them watch them.
No. Strictly adult only. Yeah.
A lot of nudity, a lot of violence.
Yeah. Nice, man. Cool. And yeah, any other news, or we about ready to wrap up?
That'd probably be about it for the week. There's probably still going to be stuff rolling out. It never ends.
We've definitely missed stuff, but I've not been able to really look at news. I just had such a week, and now I'm finally gonna have some freedom. So back to normal, which is nice.
Going to be definitely interesting to find out more about this leak anyway, because that was like pretty substantial. And even if you've got favourite YouTube commentators on these kind of things, don't expect them to show any footage, because they'll get absolutely dragged through the legal shitstorm.
Big time. just a note for people about the Discord. Discord have added forums now, old school. So it's basically just one of the chat rooms. I've added a couple of forums in there. So imagine I'm going to add a forum for each episode that we put out. And then you can put your questions and stuff in there, and add any comments about the episode and stuff like that. It's just a nice way of having it. I miss forums, and it's just nice to have them back again. So, yeah, check that out.
Yeah, it's now on Xbox, which you mentioned last week as well.
Yeah, so Discord's also on Xbox, and it works. Well, I've not tried it, but it looks like it works really easy. So, like, you're in a Discord chat, say on your phone, and then there's a button on there to send, just says send to Xbox. So it sends it to your Xbox, and then you just join a Discord chat from your Xbox, which is handy if you're going to be playing, I don't know, say COD, cross-play with some PlayStation noobs. You can all be in the same chat, which is awesome.
This is why I think both of the companies were interested in having something like a Discord in there, because it does connect everyone from every platform.
Yeah, it's great. It's a really good idea, so I'm really pleased that's available. So I need to test it, just haven't had a chance. But yeah, I think me and Sly are going to give it a go maybe in the week at some point. So yeah.
Oh, there was another trailer that was actually shown off that you've just suddenly popped into my head.
Oh yeah.
It was like one of those small trailers for a game that looks pretty damn cool, actually.
Oh yeah.
Called Wanted Dead.
All right. No.
It's by a Japanese developer, but it's kind of like a cyberpunky stroke hack and slash third person game.
Oh, okay.
Looks very action based, as though it would like really have found a home on like the 360 PS3 era, but sort of brought up to date.
Nice.
I believe it might be by Team Ninja and the Ninja Gaiden people and stuff as well. So the combat does look pretty fast and fluid.
Nice.
And I think they stated that the main character you play as has got like 80 different finishing moves.
Okay. Nice.
Due out in February. That's what reminded me.
Okay. Nice. Nice, mate. Right, shall we end it here? I haven't got any questions for this week, so...
That's good.
Yeah, call it a night.
Mm-hmm.
I know, Nick,
Yeah.
we're a bit late for finishing for you.
Yes, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble because of you.
Oh, yeah, what you got to be doing? Shagging?
Yeah, I wish.
All right. Cool, guys. All right, we're going to end it here. So thank you very much. So from me, Mark Webb, Gamertag, Piston D, Steam ID, Webby, 360G.
Nick Fights on the Twitter and the Twitch.
And Sensei Switch.
So thank you very much. Don't forget to follow us on all the social media channels. You can visit the website 360gamercast.com to get links for everything. Most importantly, though, join the Patreon, patreon.com/360gamercast, £5 a month, and you get an episode every week instead of every 2 weeks. So from all of us here, it's been awesome, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.